Welcome to episode 7 of Constitutional Law series. Today we will be discussing Article 2 of the Indian Constitution. Previously on Law Map we dealt with Article 1 and the debate on India or Bharat. Access the link in the description box to watch the video. Article 2 is located in Part 1 of the Constitution that talks about a union and its territory. It sheds light on the possibility of new states that may be admitted or established into the Indian Union. The article reads as, Parliament may by law admit into the Union or establish new states on such terms and conditions as it thinks fit. In simple words, it means Parliament can add or establish new states in India upon certain conditions. The reorganization of states is a pivotal point in the discussion. In 1956, in the post-independent period, the Government of India divided the country into 14 states and 6 union territories under the State Reorganization Act. And as of 2024, the number of states stand at 28 and that of union territories at 8. The massive change in the number of states is nothing but an evidence of the significant parliamentary power and its enforcement under Article 2 of the Indian Constitution. The purpose of the article is to regulate and clarify the territorial detailing of the Indian Union. The only authority who can admit and establish new states in India is only the Indian Parliament. Such a crucial power is given only to the Parliament because it is a democratically elected body. In order to make a new state, the Parliament should pass a law. So the members of the Parliament are required by the article to not just debate and deliberate, but to pass a law in furtherance of the same. For instance, in 2014, the Parliament passed the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act to split the state and form one new state called Telangana. This underlines the nature of Indian Union as an aggregate of states. The phrase explains that when a new state is being formed, the Parliament can frame conditions to help a smooth transitioning into a new state. For example, in the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act of 2014, it has been termed that the new state must follow all principles and guidelines issued by the central government. So this is a condition that is imposed to reduce the tension during the formation of a state. And now let's take a quick look at some of the states that were formed after independence and the motivations that led to such separations. The Nagas are an indigenous community in India who are believed to be Indo-Mongoloids migrated into the country in the 10th century BC. They resided on the Naga Hills for several centuries, and during the reorganization of states, Naga Hills was marked as a district in the state of Assam. The Nagas had demanded for a separate state even before independence through movements led by Naga National Council under the leadership of Angami Fizu. So the establishment of Naga Hills in Assam angered them. The NNC even organized plebiscite to convince the central government that the Naga people wished to be independent owing to their distinct ethnicity and cultural identity, which was not appreciated by the Assam government. When these efforts failed to gain the notice of the central leaders, the NNC launched armed insurgency leading to law and order problem in the region. By this time, the central powers realized the extent of damage caused and decided to offer a solution. Ultimately, in 1963, a new state of Nagaland came into existence. Well, the story does not end here. Right now, there exists a new movement to divide Nagaland itself. Showing the backwardness of certain areas within the state, the Eastern Nagaland People's Organization are demanding for a separate state called Frontier Nagaland, which will include 6 backward districts of the state. This is reasoned by the fact that these regions are ignored by the state government. The reorganization of states on the basis of language has taken a center stage in the post-independence period. One such case is that of Punjab and Haryana. The advent of the separation begins with the Sikh agitation for a separate Punjabi-speaking state spearheaded by Thara Singh and Sant Fateh Singh. As an effect, this movement motivated another separate demand for a Hindi-speaking state of Haryana as well. As the tension began to grow with possibilities of armed conflicts in furtherance of these language demands, the central government decided to take decisions. So in 1966, the Hindi-speaking southern and eastern area was carved as Haryana, and the Pahari-speaking northern hilly region became Himachal Pradesh. After the Indian independence, the northeastern state of Assam had a massive territorial area that included the present-day Nagaland, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh. After securing a state of Nagaland in 1963, a demand for a separate state for the people of hills took steam. In 1960, All-Party Hill Leaders Conference was formed in demand of statehood for the Eastern Hill State. The motivation for the demand included the imposition and dominance of Assamese culture and language on the hill tribes, lack of political representation in Assam legislature, and absence of respect for the culture of the hill tribes. After making several representations at the central level, the movement succeeded when Eastern Hill State secured statehood as Meghalaya in 1972. Until the year 2000, Jharkhand was a part of the Indian state Bihar. The region was located on the south of Bihar with enormous mineral-rich topography and also a substantial tribal population. But unfortunately, the region was labelled as backward across years. This very fact became a reason for demanding a separate statehood. It was claimed that the Adivasis and scheduled tribes were extremely discontent with the Bihar administration, who had conveniently ignored the region and failed to bring any development to this part of the state. There were also incidents of armed insurgency due to inaction from the central government. However, all this ended in carving of Jharkhand out of Bihar in 2000. The most recent and the youngest state to come into existence is the state of Telangana in 2014. This state was formerly a part of Andhra Pradesh. The separation was prompted by a host of reasons that included inequality of development as compared to the coastal region of Andhra, distinct dialect, lack of political representation in the mainstream central government, exclusion of the region from developmental projects, and lack of equitable distribution of water resources. The demand that originated in 2001 finally gained result when the Union Cabinet passed the law for creation of Telangana in 2014. The formation of new states are largely dependent on the social, political, linguistic and developmental reasons which may have been unforeseen during the formation of states that occurred at the cusp of Indian independence. Article 2 holds immense importance for providing a regulatory mechanism in allowing for creation of new states using parliamentary power.